everybody, Dan here with Mirko De Maio from the Flower Kings. So excited to talk to you about the new album. It's so good. But before we get to that, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for the
You're pretty
greatest
busy.
introduction. Great
Yeah,
introduction
absolutely.
ever.
Really excited to talk about this. Our producer and my son Steven took a deep dive into the new album.
Thank you,
It's
Steven.
so good. Yeah, we're going to show that first, and I'm going to show a version. I love what's going on with vinyl these days. We got the clear blue here, and it comes in a variety of packaging, but love. This. I don't think, and I mean this in a really positive way, Mirko. I don't think this album could be more hippie unless George Harrison was playing sitar on it. You know, it's seriously just so modern, fresh, but yet something that us older guys and girls have held on to since the early 60s. And the music is just tremendous. I have all sorts of feedback. And folks, if you have heard any of it, please chime in. I have a feeling Stephen will give some thoughts and let us know where you're all watching from. I'm in Globe, Arizona, 100 miles east of Phoenix, Arizona, up in the mountains. And Mirko is in an undisclosed location in Nepali. We can't say where he is exactly, or they might kick him out. So to protect his house and everything, we're not going to say exactly where he is. But sitting at your beautiful kit that you get amazing sounds from, let's start with this. Before I comment on the album and break down a few songs and get some feedback from you, talk about the recording process of this album. It sounds amazing. It's just a big, wide open live sound, yet has all the amenities of today's modern recording.
Yeah, for the, I guess with me for the third time, we we went to Varnhem to in Sweden at sorry, to the Phoenix Studios, recording
Hmm.
studios, which it's amazing. I mean, it's all built in a barn, in a old barn, but you just go there and you see all this modern stuff, and but it's so warm, to just go there.
Yeah.
It's you have this warm feeling, and well, luckily they had the Tama Star Bubinga, and I kept recording albums with that kid. Every time I go there, I don't need to bring nothing, almost nothing from
Yeah.
home, or ask to the guys to send something there, like a snare drum. Because I remember first time I went there, I called at Tom and I said, "Can you send me this snare, this, and this and this and this?" And the owner, which is a fantastic person, he was so impressed by some of the stuff that I actually say, okay, I'm going to buy this. So every time I back, I find the stuff that, I use it on the session, before, so
Yeah.
so
That's
now I don't
great.
need to bring nothing, so yeah, the drums is great. I mean, of course, it's funny to see how, the amount of microphones that we put on the drums, and then at the end we just and to use like 3 mics, 4 mics, because the room is so big, and what you hear, it's pretty much 80% from room,
This
the room.
explains the big live sound that the album has.
That's what we like.
Yeah.
That's actually in my opinion, and I can speak probably for Roy and the other guys too. you know that's how human perceive the drums,
Yeah.
in a room.
Natural.
It's not like you just don't put your ear on a tom, or the snare
Right.
drum. You don't dare to do that. So it's great to have that kind of perspective, just being in the room with the drummer or the band in general. And uh, being a drummer yourself, I mean, you can understand how the drum sound can dictate almost the sound of album. And
Absolutely.
I remember the first time I recorded with the guys, we were in Stockholm, and I had, for some reason, we hadn't any drums of what I request, and we had to use, poor me, I had to use a old Ludwig, like from the 60s, and yeah, it was a fantastic, and the sound and the playing, changing,
Yeah,
changing, and all the approach to the songs changed
yeah,
because the drums and the sound of the drums was a little bit more different. Of course, you cannot do. I mean, at least for me, it was like meaningless to play faster things, on 12, 13, 16, tune it very low. It was like on a Ringo kit. It was a.
yeah.
It doesn't sound that great. So I had to rearrange all my parts in a different way, and that kind of change actually reflected on the music after that. So it's very important to give the first imprint. In some in a very characteristic way.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the instrumentation here. We've got, of course, Mirko De Maio, our guest on drums, and his backup band, the Flower King. Just kidding. I don't want to get you in trouble. We got, of course, an amazing job by Roy Stolt on guitar. The guitar work on this is so beautiful and emotional. And we got Larson on keys. Got some comments about one particular song specifically. I'll get back to on that. Michael Stolt on bass. Hans Froberg and Roy on vocals, and the vocal choir of the Flower Kings just really sounds amazing and lush on this album. But the one song that I want to talk about with Mr. Larson was World Spinning. As soon as that song started, I had to grab my headphones, and putting that on in headphones is just the best way I could describe it, folks. It's a effing trip. It is so good. The stereophonic and all these amazing keyboard sounds. It's just so it's reminiscent of early 70s prog, but yet it doesn't sound dated, if that makes sense. They're new sounds reminiscent of what we know prog to sound like, and the playing is just great. His dexterity and the choice of notes and melodies, such a beautiful piece. I just love that. Great job on that. How much of that was pre-written out as opposed to him just letting it come out of him?
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, I heard that quite recently. When I heard that, I was just, because we were, of course, Roy sent us some mixes to evaluate, the progress, and I was listening to that and was, oh, this is great. I want to play on that, because it's very much like a Return to Forever kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And why they didn't ask him to play, and then I realized, probably because I will destroy that. But no, but the thing is that
It's
you
just a
know,
different kind of piece, right?
yeah, but Lale is capable of doing that even better. I mean, it's an amazing keyboard play and pianist. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a really gracious guy. And
The,
yeah, I mean, when I heard that, I was, wow, this is great. This is great. And it's to me, it's even too short. The track is even too short.
yeah, you want
Yeah,
more for sure.
yeah,
Is it
yeah.
something that he'll do live and embellish maybe and make it a longer piece live?
Well, as far I know, that's not a track that we're gonna play on live. But I've been sent the set list to play, but probably I don't know if is gonna play live because it does include me. So probably they didn't send me because you're not in it, so we will play that. But
I
I,
would
I don't
still
think
think you'd need to know the set list, though. I
no.
mean,
But
you need
I
to know when you can take a pee.
I know my spots. I know my spots. But the thing is that probably I'm quite sure we're not gonna play that because we have like a very limited time on the stage because it will be a tour split with us and Neil Moore's band,
Right.
the Resonance, Neil Morse and the Resonance. So
Yeah.
we have like probably we're gonna change something, on the tour, but basically that's the set list. Well, that's you don't know that, but you know, uh, as far I know, I didn't see that in the set list.
Yeah, given what you just said, the fact that, and that's a great bill, by the way, you guys with the Neil Morse band, that'd be a great piece to play right before the actual concert starts, to have it playing in the house speakers before you guys start. It just kind of bring everybody into it, you know?
Well, the good things is that in Flower King's catalog, there's a lot of songs and music pieces that actually are quite like that. They give us like a good intros and even
Yeah,
the outros. There's a lot of big ending songs.
right.
But I don't know. I don't know. Some times ago, me and a tour manager, we were just talking about the selection of songs that in some venues or some festivals someone put, and it's not really appropriate, to let people work in, and that's a lot of metal. Let's face that. That's a
Yeah,
lot of now the progressive or prog whatever. It's not more the rock. It's metal,
yeah. Yeah,
which
there's a
is
lot more metal.
yeah, which is good, but it seems that everybody want to do the same thing. So when you put that in a playlist, it's almost the same things. At one point you cannot just recognize anyone. You can maybe recognize some vocals, but when they start to do instrumental and stuff, it's all the crazy, the all the same part, and it's kind of distracting in a way. It's not entertaining anymore, in
Yeah,
my
this
opinion.
album's
In my
very
opinion,
different from that. Yeah,
yeah,
I totally see where you're coming from. If I may, I'd like to make some comments on some of the songs. We'll look at comments. I have a feeling Steve is going to chime in. We're huge fans of you guys and your music. And props to Inside Out Music for helping, you guys and for them to keep this type of music alive in, can't believe I'm saying 2025. Like, how did we get here? It's just crazy. Um, I'm still living in 1975, for goodness sakes. But a
yeah,
couple things I wanted to mention. We Claim the Moon. The opening track is really, it kind of at first threw me for a loop a little bit, only because, and sometimes when people review albums or songs, the adjectives they use may not be exactly what the creators feel, but in my opinion, that song had a nice party feel to it. And it's such a radio friendly song without compromise. It was really interesting. Um, but then you go right into the next song, which is The Elder, which is a beautiful, if I could use the term ballad, it's musically, it's multi-dimensional as far as decades wise, as far as music, but as far as even the feel. And there's even what I kind of interpreted as almost like an island feel, a South Pacific or Pacific Island feel from
yeah.
like about
Royne,
512 to
Royne,
6.
yeah, Royne has this kind of things. Lately, I guess from Island, the album Islands till now, he has this kind of things.
Working that in.
Yeah, we often have this kind of. Uh, it can be like Irish place. It can be sometime it can be an exotic thing, and sometimes it can be like a pirate thing. Back to Waiting for Miracles, we had like a
Oh,
couple of songs that we were like a very, like a pirate chant.
yeah.
We had that, and I guess all the band dig that. You know, we love sea, we love the islands and stuff like that. So I guess and probably because that speaks like freedom. It's
Yeah.
like it has a lot of that, and
And tranquility, a touch of
yeah,
like
yeah,
tranquil
yeah.
feel.
He gives a lot of like relaxed sensations.
Yeah.
So it's I guess Ron he likes a lot to just create that kind of melodies and harmonies and stuff.
Yeah. It's
Regarding that
interesting.
kind of feel. Yeah, yeah.
It goes from that section right into more of like a left turn into a total ethereal feel. But one of the other things in that song, the stick rim click has got to be the cleanest I've ever heard, and just the right note as well. Because you could click your stick on with the butt of your stick on the head of the snare, and you're clicking on the rim, and wherever you slide your stick, and whichever part of your stick is hitting the rim, and the way the drum is tuned will of course affect the way that click sounds. But that click sound is perfect for that section. How did you just go right to that? Did you experiment with where you would place the stick to get the exact sound? Like, what's the story even just behind that?
Well, that's actually it's great that you noticed that, because every time I play this part, I say, who the hell is going to notice that?
I love it. It's like
Yeah,
a huge
because
texture.
I do this kind of things. I don't know if you can, but I do this. Well, I have the, but and it's something that, I mean, the kind of sound, it's, to me, is not casual.
Right.
It's not something that, okay, just I put the drumsticks there and it's a rim shot.
Right.
It's rim how you
Rim
say,
click or
cross
whatever.
cross stick, yeah.
Yeah.
I put a lot of attention in details like that. And to me, I mean, we have a big surface on the drums, and we can get really cool sounds from that. So to me, it's not just, okay, this is just the sound. No, to me, we can take something like a pitch shifter, just
Right.
so. And I remember Buddy Rich, just doing this. I was like is a memorial Buddy Rich VHS,
Yep.
concert. It was during.
I remember that. I
So
remember
it's
that.
yeah. So it's basically it's that, and a lot. I have to admit, I have to give credits to Beanie Kalayuda doing this
Yeah.
kind of things. I mean, the perfection of this kind of note. And one thing, never play the rim shot like this with the tip. It has to be like this.
Yes.
It's a totally
The
another
stick
sound,
reverse. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
that makes a
and
lot of difference.
that little, sometimes the smallest details have the biggest effect. And that, I noticed that right away, because you've got sounds going on at the same time that are completely different. And that one texture that's different from all of them really added a lot. And it's very staccato, it's very light, it's high pitched. It's like, where's he hitting what part of the stick, and how is the drum tuned to get that? Like, I was like going through all this math in my head and chemistry to try to figure it out.
I have this drums here that it's the one that I use in the recording. Is a concerton by Tama,
Yeah.
with a ebony pinstripe ebony by Remo. So just to mimic a little bit the octobon, because I couldn't, bring the octobon, but actually it's
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Believe me, in some, the thing is that I trying to play when there's a space to let it sing, and not just to
Yeah.
play because I want to show, hey, I bought an octobon or I bought a concertom,
Right.
it's just, sometimes, give that kind of like reggae hit,
Yeah.
like a timbale thing, or Stuart Copeland kind of thing,
Hmm.
and maybe doing some like bigger feel, starting from the higher pitch to the lower pitch, so that, you know these things help me a lot. And mind that on the tour I will not have the first like three rectums. I will have just two rectums like this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and two floor toms. So the highest pitch will be the six, and it will be just here, just to not be like kind of I will try to resist,
Yeah.
to play everything I have, on
Yeah.
the kit. But I wanna just play what I have to play, and not just something that, oh, is there, let's play that.
Just because it's there. Yeah. Well, let's
No,
do
no.
this. Since we're talking about playing, I'm going to show a couple of videos of you playing. Then we'll go to comments. Then I'll make some of my own comments on some of the other songs as well. So check this out, folks. Here's one of two short videos we have of Mirko playing. I love how that started out with that neat sort of linear ostinato. That was really cool. Check this one out, folks. Is that the Ludwig kit you were referring to?
No. That's my personal Ludwig kit, and
Okay.
actually with a Premier Elite Baron 24
Okay.
kick. Yeah,
And I
well,
noticed that she had the 6-inch tom placed
yeah,
right
that
in
was that. I
the
noticed
same
that.
one.
Yeah, it's same. I have two, and yeah, it was one of the twos for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
I was just trying because I got that drum kit um, some days earlier before, like, and I was just bashing my head out, and I said, okay, let's film that, and yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Let's look at some comments. Steve has some comments here. Starting from his first one says, "Love the big sound on the Love album. Fits nicely with the Flower Kings discography." That's a great point. It's a natural progression from the other albums. That's perfect. His favorite track is the 11-minute The Elder, thought-provoking lyrics throughout. And then he says, funny enough, Razor or Kaiser I think Razor is supposed to be what it says. Do I have that
Yeah,
name
it's a
wrong?
Kaiser Razor.
Razor, yeah, it sounded more bouncy and upbeat than the title had me expecting. I love that. That's a great instrumental piece. And then, let's see. I see it says Dad and I have talked about how, oh, yeah, yes, Awaken takes you on a journey. And I felt the similar vibe, especially during the build up toward the end of, yeah, Considerations. Absolutely. Those are really good takes. There's a lot of variety on this album, but yet with the songs still all sounding like they belong on the same album. And that's just great work by everybody. I was going to mention for Kaiser Razor, the wonderfully playful instrumental. It's very fresh, and the sounds are just great. Like that's one of the things stitched throughout this whole album is the sounds of all the instruments are great, and it's not all the same sounds on every song. So there, there's some good variety there. But also love is a great, big, beautiful, open sound. And you talked about recording this in that barn where a lot of that's just the organic sound being captured, right?
Yeah, well, it was like a studio, was a recording studio, but
Yeah,
it was built in a barn,
in a barn.
but
Yeah,
it was a professionally a studio, working studio. So it's a great. You should check that out. I mean, it's called Phoenix Studios in Varnhem, Sweden.
great. We'll check
And
that out.
that they had Ludwig kit, but I didn't use that because I can get pretty good sounds from like if I have enough sizes, I can get the drums I want, the sound I want from the same drums. Yeah, the instrumental Casa Razor, it's probably the more crispier,
Mm,
sounding track of all the album.
yeah.
Because for most of the album I use it like very like a medium low tuned snare drums. Everything was more like more meat and potatoes. It
Yeah.
was more like a beefy sound, and I really played that from the heart. And I didn't, I want, I must say this really honestly. It's not something that just to say, oh, I really wanted to play that. I really wanted to play that. I wanna, and as I did a post some days ago, and I'm just like giving credits to the band and to the owner of the studios that they really let me play what I felt, what the music was suggesting in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best things to do. You leave a
Yeah.
lot of like the student feels at home. You just play what it's right, what you personally feel it's right for the song. And
Right.
if everyone are smiling, on the other part of the glasses is done. You know,
Yeah.
indeed. I mean, most of the tracks are like just one take. It's just
Wow.
first take. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
we did some punching in, here and there, just little stuff, and but it's basically. I mean, Kaiser Razer. It's probably the first song that I recorded. Because I
Oh,
say,
really?
okay, I want to just put it that down, just
Get that out of the
that's
way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Indeed, the sounds were a little bit different. Then I more like put myself in songwriting drummer.
Yeah.
I need just to follow what the music was suggesting me, and 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 funny that you mentioned consideration.
Yeah.
Consideration was a song that I didn't heard, until the moment that just Michael showed at the studio with that song,
Oh,
and I just
wow.
record. That's just the first recording, the first thing that you hear.
Wow.
That's that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
as
just that.
Steve mentioned, that build up at the end is it just that song really does take you on a journey and the theater of the mind thing and the musical transformations it goes through is just wonderful stuff. Do you have a couple favorites you want to mention that are particularly of more meaning to you?
Oh well, the one that I really proud of myself and the band. It's actually Phoenix. The
Oh,
song called the Phoenix. Yeah.
yeah, that's a great tune. Yep.
Yeah, it's a simple. It's simple, but it's really you can feel really the emotion, of playing of the guys playing that song,
Hmm.
and I guess consideration. It's like think that. Oh, what you listening now? It's not what I was hearing, during the recording.
Right.
And maybe there was just like some bass note here and there, but it was okay. Let's see what happened at the end of that. You
Yeah.
know.
So,
So
what did you think
and
when you went from hearing what you heard while you're recording it to what the end product of was? Like, what are your thoughts on that perspective?
you mean when I recorded, right? When I recorded,
What? Yeah, when you think of what you heard while you were recording it versus what the finished product is, what are your thoughts looking back?
I'm always so impressed of how the band works. Because the thing is that when I start, when I have like let's say a blank canvas,
Yeah.
I try to be the more musical I can. I try to think in a song that maybe a song of another band. Okay, I try to play and I say, oh, maybe here I can. I'm feeling Bohemian Rhapsody. Here I'm feeling like Moby Dick, something like that. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, and then when I hear the final result, it's most of the time it shocks me a lot. And so,
Yeah.
wow, this guy just like completely, they did the complete opposite of what I was thinking while I were recording. But it's even more stunning than that. It's
Yeah.
they go beyond my expectations.
Yeah. That's great. That's
Yeah,
great. Are
that's
you
awesome.
excited about the tour? When do you guys leave? Where are you going? What can you tell us about that?
The tour, the first show will be on the 29th of May, and will be
Okay.
in Stockholm. Then it will go all through Europe, and will finish in Italy actually on the 15th of June. And now on in a couple of days, I have to fly to Stockholm and having like a first couple days of rehearsal with the band, and then I will back here, just pack my stuff and back in Sweden. I guess on the 25th of
Okay.
May, and then we do final rehearsing, and then we will go to play.
And then are there more legs of the tour after the 15th of June?
At the moment, as far as I know, nope. But there's you know, it always happen. The things that happen during the tour, and even just a little some days before. We starting to getting calls from festivals on some propose from other artists to do tours and stuff like that in
Yeah.
some locations. And because of course, I mean, that's the purpose of having an album out. There's
Yeah.
some lights on the band, so people start to call. And yeah, I guess some festival will come, that's for sure.
Great. It's a fantastic album. We'd love to see the tour in the United States of America. I know that that's kind of one of those remote locations that not a lot of artists get out to, but we'd love to
It's
see you
very
here.
it's very difficult. I have to. I mean, I feel that we, in a way, we have to apologize to the United States guys and fans, but it's very difficult for a band like us, and even like way bigger than us, to come to the United States. I mean,
Yeah,
the investment, it's huge.
it
It's really
is.
huge,
It costs so
and
much more now to tour.
yeah, I mean, and even you want to go break even, forget it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's impossible, and and it seems that they gonna go against us. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're lucky to have a lot of fans, just very hardcore fans, just coming every now and then in Europe. Some location in Europe just to see the band, and that's awesome. I don't know about Canada. I mean, if it's the same thing, but
Probably.
yeah.
It
But
probably
next,
is.
yeah, next. But I remember last time we went in Canada, was way simple. That
Yeah.
of what we have to face when we start. We go in the United States, because we went to cruise to the age for a couple of years. I mean, at least with me, and but that's different things. I mean, it's totally different things. We go through United States, but we technically we don't play in the United States.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it's
Yeah.
a cruise, it goes
Right.
it goes in the international waters. And
Yeah.
then and well, I should mention that next year we will play again to cruise to the age.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll help you promote that. Let us know.
sure.
And, folks, start with this great album, and then maybe it's available from Inside Out Music. Look it up. Flower Kings, love. It's a great album. By the way, I love the motif, the kind of old 1920s, late 1800s kind of circus carnival motifs. The videos are great that I've seen so far as well. And maybe, just maybe, a show will get filmed while you're on tour in Europe and will get turned into a DVD so that people way out here in the West could experience you guys live on our screens. That'd be awesome.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's something that most of the time the rest of the band got to know, like the evening of the recordings. So and it was the same for the or live album that just came out on October, I guess.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that. You did just run and say, yeah, we recorded the show. Probably we will put a live DVD. I mean, we a live album, and so we didn't know nothing. So you starting to send some live song for live recordings, and I was thinking, for which purpose? And I said, no, we're going to release a live album. Oh, I should have played better, you know. And
It'd be
that's for
great to
sure.
see a DVD though, and Steve has some great input. Love Live has such a nice ring to it. I mean, what a great name for a live
Love
DVD and
live.
album. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe with something that go cover the O and then the E. We
yeah,
don't know. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, as far as I guess we were gonna play, actually, one, two, I guess four songs from the new album.
Great,
Yeah,
great.
I cannot like give away the set
Sure.
list, but there will be some
A
the,
nice
the
cross
songs
section.
that
Yeah,
deserve to be played live.
great,
So
great.
yeah.
That's awesome. I know you're a busy guy. Do you have anything else going on yourself outside the Flower Kings that you'd like to talk about and promote?
Oh, to be completely honest, nope.
Okay, okay,
I'm really no, I'm really this moment I'm really free. It's I'm doing a lot of sessions, of course, but it's not my thing. It's not my
yeah,
bands or artists. A lot of sessions in my studio,
yeah,
but live, and I don't have my own things. My very own things. I'm really focused to the Flower Kings,
great.
which it's good, but in a way you're starting to think, oh, maybe I should put some of my, because I have some music that I wrote in time. So I was some years ago I was thinking to release at least like an EP with some of
That
my
would be great.
music. Yeah, but I'm so shy, so I'm saying, oh, nobody's gonna be interested in that.
Oh, sure they would.
So let's see what happens. Maybe I
Yeah.
mean I'm sure one day will happen. Maybe when I will be 70. So I don't know. We'll
How old
see.
are you now?
This year I will be 41.
Okay, so you got plenty of time, and I'm sure your own original music would be very welcomed. I would love to hear it. You're such a great drummer, such great work on this new Flower Kings album, Love. Folks, you got to get it from Inside Out Music. There's many different formats. It comes in. That's kind of the blue clear vinyl that we're showing there.
Yeah, it's
But
like
whatever your
is
preferred.
the guy is like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, bending the bars open.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I mean the vinyls are great. I mean it's amazing how many vinyls we sell. I mean it's we always go very soon sold out. I mean they sell pretty fast.
that's great.
That's
That's
great. I mean
great.
and they are not cheap. I mean vinyl are not cheap,
Right. Yeah, I
and
think
it's
this package here is like I think $59 US, I think.
yeah, pretty much. And
Yeah.
if the color, I mean, the limited editions change.
Yeah,
If you have like an orange one, I don't remember, but remember the ones from
right.
the past. If you have an orange one, it's like 200 copies. If you have like a blue one, it's 100. If you have whatever, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit expensive. Then you have special package. I mean, I have to give credit to Ryan and the guys inside out. They create a lot of great stuff, in the
Yeah.
merch area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I love that there's different varieties to choose from as far as the medium that it comes in and the packaging and everything like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
They're great. They're great, and big props to Inside Out, of course. They being great for
Sure.
us, and I mean they contribute to life of the band pretty much, and I guess 20 years now. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, thanks for taking time on a Saturday to get with us shortly before you leave town to get ready for this tour that I'm sure is going to be wonderful. Hang on the line with me for a moment after we say goodbye to the audience. And audience, thank you so much for joining Mirko De Maio and myself, Dan Shinder, here on Drum Talk TV. Whether you watched live or you're seeing this on the archive, great music, great, fresh, wonderful prog music to go out and get and enjoy. And thanks for following what we do on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and Vimeo, and TikTok as well. Oh, no wonder I need a nap.
Wait, time.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. The Tibetan bells. I love it. Nice. And thanks, folks. We'll see you soon with more fun on Drum Talk TV. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.